Welcome to Cannabis School. I'm your host, Jesse Angeles.
And I'm Brandon Elder.
And we're here to talk to you about everything pertaining to cannabis, from vape,
Flower,
edibles,
strains,
and everything in between.
Welcome back. It's a happy Christmas. Look at this. Happy birthday, Jesus.
Oh, wait.
It's your birthday.
Yeah, it'll be Christmas Eve.
Yeah, and just so you know, nobody fucking knows when Christ was born. They just put this over there. The reason why it's on the 25th is that the Christians at the time tried to mingle in with the other religions.
Paganism.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so just to be able to keep along with that, which I think is pretty cool, because if you talk to Muslims who come to the United States, they celebrate Christmas too. Not all of them, but the majority of them do, because
That's
they
true.
are taught to acclimate to the culture that they are
Well,
in.
and the culture of the U.S. is commercialism. So, Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
I hope you bought all... Just kidding.
Hope you got into
Don't worry
debt.
about that shit.
Yeah.
Hope you actually, spent some time with people you cared about, didn't give a shit about the gifts and that.
And smoke some really good weed.
Yeah, sit around the Christmas trees, light them up, and...
Matter of fact, a public service announcement. If you're seeing family right now and you're not high,
get high.
why?
Why get high? Oh, why aren't you high?
Why
Yeah.
aren't you high?
Yeah, that's a very valid question, though.
I will be very high with all my family, so I can be very excited about Christmas tithings and cheer, because I don't fucking like this. I'm like you, dude. Consumerism drives me. I don't mind buying shit, but I hate how this season feels.
Yeah,
man.
I love seeing the light and excitement in my kids or people that I love when I give them something. But that could happen anytime. It doesn't need to be necessarily tied to a certain time of the year. But it's, that's just because I enjoy giving stuff to people I care about.
Yeah.
But it's that thing of Christmas time comes and people are like, what do you want? I'm like, I don't know. I don't want you to spend as much money on me on the things that I would buy, because the things that I would actually go, hey, I want this, are usually more expensive, because that's why I don't have them.
Well, and this Christmas has been considerably light for both of us. And what's awesome is that it gives me a lot of drive. It's not the gifts. It's about being able to set your family up so that they don't have to go without. And going without doesn't mean you don't get to go out because we need to get that 72-inch crystal screen HD from Samsung. None of that bullshit. And even if you do, even if you have it and you buy that, that's fucking totally great. Get whatever you want, but don't feel like you have to be obligated. And what's great is that we've taught my kids that. So you're not obligated to get presents, and we like to get you presents, but we don't go crazy. And my wife's like, gosh, all the kids are kind of upset because we don't have as many gifts underneath the tree this year. And I'm like, I'll just tell them they better be fucking lucky, because if they were over Brandon's, they'd be like, Jesus got 3 gifts, you get 3 gifts. That's
what we did.
That's a good balance, right?
Because I don't know. It was that young parenting and that very first year of Finn when we went to we were still young. All of my nieces and nephews were young, if there were any of them. And so it was the families were still young. And so it was everyone was buying gifts for everyone. And, it was okay, the grandkids got tons of gifts from everyone. So then not only did we buy them a lot of gifts, but they got a lot of gifts from everything. And it was they just had so much crap.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the day, you think about it and you're like, how much did they really play with all of that stuff? And how much of it just sat there?
Well, a lot of it comes from our youth of not having a lot, not giving a lot.
What was your first Christmas that you remember?
First Christmas I remember was when I was 5. I got this big wheel that was made out of metal. It had this giant bucket seat of plastic.
I'll be right back. I made the biggest rookie mistake.
You didn't
There's
put any
no water in this.
Oh, okay.
It's still really smooth.
I was like, uh-oh. Are you tasting alcohol?
No, I just didn't hear that. Fog bubbles.
Yeah, I didn't hear it either.
I just was looking here. There we go. Good. All right. So first Christmas, you remember you were about 5.
Yeah, 5. And I got this really cool big wheel. And it had these long, it was like the choppers of big wheels. It was metal. I don't know how my parents afforded it, but back then, dude, it was made quality. Big wheels are made quality. Do you remember that when you ride on a big wheel?
Everything was made quality back then.
Well, because there wasn't as many people.
Well, and stuff was like cars were made more durable. Everything was heavier. It was just like more solid. Same with furniture. You know, you get the wooden furniture from like 30, 40, 50 years ago, and it's really solid.
The population has grown, and so the demand is higher. That's why IKEA is kicking ass with wood pulp.
Yeah. I hate IKEA furniture, honestly.
You know what, though? I don't mind it, because I have a lot of it in my house, because it's real easy to set up. So
it is.
IKEA is great if you don't have a lot of money, but you want to look okay. And my wife does all the interior shit in our house. I don't fucking touch that because I don't give a shit. When we met, dude, I had a fitted sheet on my bed and that's it. And she thought that was pretty fucking weird. And I'm like, I don't care. I don't even give a fuck if there's a sheet on it. Because I was a young man who didn't give a shit about that. My bed was an energy-saving model. I only made it up for special occasions.
An energy-saving model?
Yeah, you get into it and you sleep.
Oh, yeah. See, I think I was probably either around 4 or 5 on the first Christmas, I remember. And I remember coming down the stairs, and we had a little pile of our stuff, and I swear mine was clothes. But then the Wimmers, because it was young enough time that all of the family of the extended family would do gift exchange, and one family would buy for another.
Oh, man.
Damn, PEZ Sours is wrecking Jesse this morning.
PEZ Sours is awesome. I like it. No, I've taken a break, but I don't want to interrupt the story. Continue.
Good.
The Wimmers?
Yeah, so I basically got a little pile of clothes for the morning, and then there was these little few wrap gifts under the tree. Those gifts were from the Wimmer family. And so we each unwrapped one. I remember Curtis, Alec, and I unwrapping one. Because we were young enough that not everyone,
And it was fruit.
No, it was little Ninja Turtle characters.
Dude.
It was the best present because everything else was like Grandma Holt or,
Yeah.
or
it was like
clothes.
a book or a family book or something.
Yeah, so clothes, a book or something, and then this Ninja Turtle. And that Ninja Turtle was the coolest thing that I ever got. I mean, at that point, but that's the earliest Christmas I remember. It was probably like 4 or 5.
Dude, that's crazy. That's so crazy that...
I don't know, Christmas was always so different for us. There was the excitement of like, oh, Santa came. That's literally what it was growing up. But I don't remember when I stopped believing in Santa.
It was early for me because I actually found the presents.
Okay.
I was such a sneak, and I was also just super inquisitive as a child. I still am to this day. But I was going around when I found it, no upset. It was, sweet, what did I get?
Yeah.
So then I would try and figure it out. And I remember one year my dad hid all these, like, we had this shitty garage off to the side, and because this is old school, it wasn't attached to the house. People who had attached to the house, they were rich.
Really?
Well, I grew up in the ghetto.
I just didn't know because I grew up on Grandview. And...
Yeah. No, where I lived, like, it was quite a poor neighborhood, and it was a lot of violence in that neighborhood as well, but not crazy violence. Like, people out there in Watts are like, what kind of violence were you experiencing? And I'm like, not that.
It's different.
It was just smaller, and it wasn't as well known. So, and
it's not as bad as like Rose Park or other areas now, but back
I was
then,
in fights all the time.
It was still a really small area through here.
Yeah, and I mean, it wasn't really diverse, and I'm a white guy, but to them, just because of my last name, they knew that my dad was Hispanic. Like, I got in fights because people would make fun of my dad just because he was Hispanic. Like, what's your fruit picking father doing today? And I'm like, right on.
Yeah.
And it stopped pretty quickly, but it sucked because the way I was known as a kid was I was a violent person. Right? I wasn't like, oh, Jesse's really nice. It's like, you want to take Jesse in case you get in trouble and you want to get in a fight because he's great for that. And it was so like, I don't know, maybe that's subconsciously why I've never really pushed my kids to do martial arts. PEZ is really open, but I don't feel it everywhere. I only feel it on the brain.
It's pretty mild. Granted,
Super
we haven't
mild.
taken a lot of it yet, but I do like that I feel it already from that bit.
Yeah, but it's just light.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a focus strain that helps really good with nausea and pain. Getting toasty?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. So I'm not really sure. Like, it's not It's very subtle right now.
Yeah.
A little bit in my face, but mostly in my head.
Yeah, 100%. Everything you just described is exactly what PEZ Sours is. So on the focus side, I like it. This would be great for hammering out stuff in the morning or making phone calls. The reason why I say making phone calls is because the cottonmouth on this one is very minimal, and I really enjoy that. Now, more could definitely increase it because you're putting dry smoke into your mouth and lungs, but
We'll see how that goes.
I love it, dude.
It's
I
not
love
too bad right now.
No, it's really good because, I mean, the flavor's not bad. It's not something to write home about, but it's not like overly pungent. Or have you ever had some ones that are not like cheetah piss ammonia smell, but just kind of smell not amazing? How's this?
So it smells delicious. It's made with pineapple PEZ, lemon sorbet, and watermelon Skittles is what is put into making PEZ Sours.
You can really get the citrus hints just from smelling the flower.
So the flower smells delicious. Like, I really like the notes. I like the smell of it. How does it pinch? Does it feel pretty?
It's very coarse. I like that though because
is it sorry, I meant sticky? Is it pretty dry?
it's drier.
Okay.
But I like that because one, it doesn't fuck up my grinder.
Well, we're using the stash grinder, which is one of our favorites.
One of our favorites.
I
Love
cleaned
the
it this
stash.
morning, so it spins
It's really nice.
really smooth.
I like it because it's soft, but it's dry.
Okay.
And I
yeah.
like that. I mean, and
Oh
depending,
yeah, yep.
see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But the thing is like now I've kind of thought about grinders and why it's good to have several different types of grinders. So if I got a grinder with teeth, I want to use that with wet flour. And the reason, or a little bit moister, or not moister. I just came up with the name. Hey,
Moister your cloister.
that cake is very moister. Now, but
Thanks for tuning in to Utah English class.
mountains,
Mountain.
crick,
Get her done.
get the crick. Oh, creek. It's supposed to be pronounced creek, but we pronounce it crick. And
You pronounce it crick.
I grew
I've
up with
always
a lot of.
pronounced it creek.
Yeah, well, Brandon grew up with like a tutor and a maid and all this other shit.
You're
like,
so full of
Must be great being a white man, right? But I was over there with my.
Did you know my mom?
No, dude, I was just fucking with you.
Oh, I know.
No. His mom made them clip out coupons. That's the way.
Yeah,
it
we
rolled.
were the maid.
Yeah, they were the maid. But no, the fuck, where's I going with that?
PEZ Sours.
Yeah, no, it's
Quite.
just it's good. It's good. After a little bit, it kicks in.
I feel a little less pain.
Yeah, actually, which is weird for a sativa.
The thing is, I don't know that I noticed it really creep down or in. I just am noticing less pain.
And the crazy thing, too, is there's kind of like a slight cooling sensation that I'm getting on my back. And I'm wearing something warm.
Oh, same. I feel nice and cozy right now.
I feel it's like right in the middle of my shoulder blades. It's like this, almost like somebody had put like icy hot there.
Oh.
It's very strange. But I like it because I feel relaxed, but I'm also very awake.
Yeah.
So this is good time, too. This is a great Christmas strain.
To go sit around with the family.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
dip out like every 40 minutes and
Oh, yeah.
just keep that high
Puff
rolling.
on that.
Mhm.
Or make some edibles. If you could get some flour, make some edible infused sugar, or even just
Dude,
edibles themselves.
this would be a great time to make a lot of like hard candies. Like you could repurpose Jolly Ranchers,
Mm-hmm.
right? Where you could be able to create this like really just pop that in your mouth and just suck on that and just maintain your high.
I did that before. I made, but I had made cannabis infused sugar, and then I just melted down Jolly Ranchers and stirred in that cannabis infused sugar.
Dude.
So it didn't change the consistency, it didn't add oil to it. And then I just poured them out into little Lego molds, and they formed, and it was fantastic. And it was like hard little Lego-shaped Jolly Ranchers that were edibles.
I was just thinking about it. I remember, have you ever seen this video of these people making like natural cough drops with ginger and honey infused?
Oh, that'd be dope. I like your thinking.
Dude, that'd be
Because you can infuse the honey, you can infuse all sorts of things within that.
The
and
honey.
then just, yeah, I've thought of that before. I used to have a 5-gallon bucket of raw honey, and we've basically gone through it in the time that I've known Emily.
That's 5 years.
Yeah, 5, almost 6 years.
Yeah,
We've gone
holy
through a 5-gallon
shit.
bucket of raw honey. So
1 year for honey. Yeah, dude, it's this is a really good strain. It just kind of, there's a slight wave of calmness, but that's like, it literally is, dude. It's like Ben Gay. I feel really good. Not Ben.
yeah,
Gay.
not I've been gay.
Ben.
Ben's gay.
Did you ever see In Living Color when you were a kid? Probably not. Your parents didn't even let you
Probably
watch
not.
those things.
No.
Yeah, my parents were delinquents. They were like, my dad didn't understand the language as much, and my mom didn't give a fuck. But we would watch.
Yeah, no.
It
Even
was like
cartoons. They were like hyper particular on.
like The Simpsons and shit.
Oh, that was not allowed. Even when we went over. So when Wimmers lived at Grandma's, we used to go over there. Sometimes on Sundays,
And they would watch
and
it.
they'd be watching it, and our parents would be like, "You can't be in that room. If they're watching it, you can't be in there." So, like, the Wimmers would be in there, like Steph and Aubrey would be in there, and we'd be downstairs in the kitchen or in the living room or something
Ugh,
because it was like, yeah, we can't watch that.
save
or even
your
like
souls.
basic ones, the Looney Tunes ones that were like the Looney Tunes kids and stuff when we were little. Couldn't watch that one.
Did you ever see the adult Looney Tunes?
Like,
Oh
what do you mean
my
by adults?
Fucking hell. They're sexual innuendos, all sorts of... Dude, it was an Adult Swim for a while. It is the funniest fucking shit. Like, I swear, who did I get that from? Like, somebody downloaded it for me. It could have been your brother a long time ago. But it was hilarious because they had like Babs Bunny, but it was played by Kristen Wiig.
I'm not sure who that is.
Kristen Wiig. Did you ever see Despicable Me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the woman in the second one who was the agent who captures Gru, and then
The dark-haired lady?
the red-haired
Scarlet?
lady.
Oh, okay. I don't
Right.
know who plays her in real life, but I know.
So she's in like a bunch of movies. She's pretty funny.
Okay.
She was on Saturday Night Live for a really long time, but when they were funny, but she is fucking hilarious in that.
Okay.
It's worth the watch.
I'll have to go check it out. There's so many movies that we never watched.
I that's all I did when I was a kid is I watched movies during the summer because my parents were working.
See, our summer was when I worked because it was like as soon as I was 9. My summers were working because my dad would work. He started his own company. And so from then on, summers became...
free child labor.
Yeah, we were... I mean, I got paid, but we worked hard, but then we go boating on like weekends or... Yeah, weekends.
Yeah, you'd have fun.
So we'd go boating or four-wheeling on a weekend, but we'd spend, the whole week working, and that's just what I did with most of my summers. Or I'd go play some when it was one of my other brothers' turn to work because my dad couldn't tolerate taking more than one of us at a time.
That tracks.
Yeah.
That totally tracks. Your dad's not
But
big
at the same
with
time,
kids.
like you think about it, as a business owner, if you're going out, and he started as handyman. So you're going to work on someone's house, repair their stuff, and there's a guy with like a 9 or a 10-year-old there. Now that 9 or 10-year-old is only picking up tools, going and getting parts from the trailer, sweeping, picking up, like that kind of stuff. Really basic, easy stuff. Here, hold this. Here, do this. Like,
yeah, but super valuable.
Yeah. Oh, because a second set of hands or someone to go, it saves you so much time.
Because you can stay right on the job. I fucking got water all over me.
But that was my dad, and half the time he'd send me to go get a tool, and his trailer wasn't clean, so I'd have to search for it. By the time I'd come back, he'd have used something else to get it done. So I'd have gone and looked for something for 10 minutes, come back, and he's already done it and moved on to something else. I'm like, okay, well, now what? But yeah, I don't know, it's very...
I see it as very utilitarian, like, give them a solid structure of work ethic and all that. Like my dad worked, at the time, I don't remember where, I think he worked for the state of Utah at the time. He probably was working at the state hospital, funny enough. And then, but shortly after that, he was into like ORS. He used to track down deadbeat dads and shit like that.
Oh, wow.
But it was pretty cool. Like my dad, that's all he did. And then my mom worked at like department stores and shit like that because we needed the money. And dude, honestly, it was just like we were left alone. And that was cool because we became very self-sufficient. We cooked at a very young age. I mean, I think I was like 10 or 11 when my parents left, and my brother's like 5 years younger than me.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he was just a little kid, but, you know, we all just kind of took our turn, and we all kept it pretty responsible. We knew exactly what we were doing and told each other where we were going. But that's where I got like all my street experience, man, like these kids. And I grew up having a ton of fun, riding bikes everywhere, checking out the creeks and fucking catching frogs and shit.
I used to love that. We used to ride down, because Grandma and Grandpa, my dad's parents, lived down.
Oh, yeah, right by the river.
Hill.
Yeah.
But there was the forest next to him, too. So we'd go down and play in the forest. There was a big pond with massive fish in it. So we'd go down and hang out there, play in the river. Aaron and I would go over on the other side and go fishing over down by where 7-Eleven used to be. Like, we used to do that all the time. Ride your bikes through the orchards that don't exist anymore. Like, I loved being a kid. I feel like it's so different now. Even the things we wanted for Christmas. You know, it was like, I remember my first Christmas that my parents got me a remote control car. I freaked the fuck out because I'd never gotten anything that nice, that expensive, like what I wanted for Christmas. Christmas was always like
a sweet potato and some steel cut oats in a bag. It was a really nice bag though. So.
Well, I remember getting like
books.
At 8, I got a pair of scriptures. That was my Christmas present.
Oh.
Now, as an 8-year-old, that's really boring. But as a parent, that was really expensive for them. And when my mom's frugal and she's like, well, I just bought 3 sets of scriptures. Well, for 3 kids who are 8,
who did you
6,
buy
and
that
10.
for? Who did you buy that for?
Yeah.
Them.
Yep.
Not you.
No. And so it was like, all right, cool. So got that, you know, but that's what Christmas was. It was a time to get stuff that either you needed or, you know, that could benefit you. Or I remember being in 6th grade and I got a pair of corduroy pants.
Oh,
because it was in at the time. Yep. And I felt so cool because those were actually in, and I never got anything that was like cool. And then I wore them every single day because it was like, oh, I love these. These are so cool.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
That was the dude. It's so funny. Like, you know, I grew up poor, but you were forced to be poor.
Yeah, but it was like, I think it was good because it was weird though, because growing up, like, I had friends in my neighborhood. They're like, oh, you're rich. How am I rich? And it was because that year in 6th grade that my dad had started a business or something after he had done really well for 2 years at RC Willey, making over 6 figures both years 20, 30 years ago. Like, so when he was doing that, he bought a used truck and a used boat in 1 year. And because of that, kids started calling me rich, saying, oh, you're rich and that. And I was like, how am I rich?
Yeah, well, it's all in the eye of the beholder, right?
But it was my friends who had gone to Disneyland 10 times. They'd gone to Hawaii as a family 4 times. And I'm like, you don't think the amount of money that it costs for your family to go do all of those things that your family could afford a used truck and a used boat?
Well, they don't think that.
And he was like, oh.
It's their normal.
Yeah. And I was like, I've never left the state. I'm 14.
No, dude. And I mean, all of my family trips when I was younger was just my parents arguing. So I mean, well, no, they weren't always arguing, but I do remember distinctly, like when I was a young kid, and it just wasn't. I mean, it was riding in a station wagon where nobody was wearing seatbelts, and we were fucking coloring. My sister sitting on the bench of this fucking. What were they called? Station wagon.
I loved old road trips, though.
Dude, I love old cars like station wagons. Station wagons need to come back because that shit.
Oh my God,
bomb.
right? I've kind of thought about that too because I'm like,
it's like a small,
the rear seats, like the wagon, like there's so much more space in it,
and the seats were comfortable.
I know. I've actually I've considered because they have the cars that I want for the next car. They have it in wagon style.
Dude, why not? Because it's all about like utility, right? At that point, I don't see I mean, I like a nice car. I like fast cars. But at the same time, like I'm just like, meh, you know, if it serves a purpose and it can do multiple things, great. But I really don't give a fuck about cars. I mean, you know, you've been in my car.
I like them to be comfortable.
I'm not very good to cars.
I know.
I don't give a fuck. I mean, and the funny thing is I know how to fix cars. So I'm just like, dude, you know, my car's making these noises. Bring it over, dude. I'll help you out.
Yeah.
My brakes are fucked up. I got you. And then you hear squeaking from mine, and then hearing like a belt, and they're like, "Dude, your belt." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm gonna get to it eventually."
I know, but it's not.
It's never like a big demand. But for somebody else, I'm like, "Oh yeah, dude, no
Because
problem."
it's like, yeah, I'd help you do that. I know how to do that. But for your own, you're like, there's so much other shit in your mind and priority that your mind's not like, I could take 5 minutes and tighten that belt. Like,
No,
you know.
no. I mean, I remember recently, my power steering it started to just go nuts, and I was like, "Fuck, what's going on?" And I couldn't find it. It was this tiny little hair crack in the hose. So I got the hose, replaced that, and then it's got another leak. So I'm like, and I can't fucking find it.
I helped a neighbor incredibly selfishly years ago, because there's this couple who lived next door, and every morning they'd go out to leave for work pretty early and start their car. And all I would hear is squeak, 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 like their really, really horrible belt squeak every morning. And finally one day I was in the house doing something, and I heard them start their car, and I heard that squeak, and I was like,
I'm going to go out and fix that.
and I grab my tool set and I walk out real fast, and I was like, hey, can I fix your belt real fast? And he's like, what? And I was like, it squeaks. Can I just tighten that for you? And he's like, yeah. Would you do that? And I was like, for sure. But it wasn't because
No,
it was just because I was like, oh man, his belt is so annoying. I should fix that.
But that's the cool thing, dude. It's like the same thing when you're helping somebody else out. It's not like, giving $5 to a homeless dude. Very admirable. Why not? But when I see that same homeless dude there every fucking time I go to Walmart or something like that, that guy is no longer in need of help. That guy's got a job now.
Yeah, that's just what they do.
Yeah, that's what they do.
So I've tried to change it, because there was years ago I went out to Logan to visit my ex-wife's brother, and we'd gone through town, and we'd just stopped through a drive-through on the way, and there's this guy on the corner, and he seemed homeless, was begging for money or whatever, and I felt bad. It was whatever. I think it was the holiday season, and I had money at the time. I had enough to give. So I gave him like a 10-piece nugget, and I gave him $10. I felt great about it, and I drove and went to her brother's house. And then we got talking, and somehow that guy came up. And they're like, yeah, he's there all the time. He hops in a car and drives off in this. He's not. And I was like, oh.
No, but I mean...
So from then on, now I try not to give money to most of them. I'll give food, I'll give something, because I'm like, if you're actually homeless and that, you're probably hungry. And if that's the case, if that's really true, I'd rather give you something that you can do that with.
I totally get where you're coming from. And the other part of me goes, you know what, though, dude, that's a opportunity for me to show charity to somebody else, regardless of whatever they're going to do with it, because now I'm removing myself from the equation. I'm not thinking that whatever I need is more important than them.
Oh no! See, they still get the charity from me either way.
Yeah,
it just is in a different form than maybe what they're.
Well, when I see him real often, at the same place, like there's this guy brings his whole family, his kids, he makes them all sit on the corner.
We got a whole bunch of these in Orem by Costco.
Fucking hell, dude. And I'm just like, and I drive past and they've got a sign, and and when the sign keeps going like this, I'm like, that motherfucker has a job, and that's what that is. Because when I see a homeless person who's got a sign and they're looking down, like, that's the kind of guy where if like I was well off, I'm like, dude, I'm gonna put you up in a hotel for a week. I'm gonna give you $500, and what do you know how to do? Let me see if I can find something for it. Yeah, let me help you get something, or let me take you down. Like that's one of the things I really like about desert industries here in Utah and throughout the West, is that they will hire literally anyone to come work. They will give you a job.
It's true. And
they'll set you up with housing if you don't have. I mean, they do so much for those individuals. All you got to do is ask. And they don't care if you're a part of the religion or not. They're going to grab you and help you.
That wouldn't make sense on that end, because it's...
But that's a misconception. They're like, yeah, they only help. Like, I've heard of so many people who were doing... again, the weird circle that we have within friends. Your girlfriend knows a certain person that I know.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Okay, and so, but that person, when I met them, they were a young couple, had a bunch of people in their apartment. I met the dude on Craigslist. Not for that. It was
Casual encounters.
Yeah, it was MW,
Male looking for male.
Yeah. Male woman looking for male, right? And, I showed up. Dude, you ever see those? Those are hilarious. Those are the funniest damn things. This is such fucking pathetic, thirsty motherfuckers on there.
Yes, there was a...
Now it's called Bumble, Tinder, whatever.
Every dating app now.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But, dude, I saw them and I felt so bad for them. And I had this job, which I had no complaints on. I had no desire to excel in my life. And I was trying to find that purpose. But when I met this guy and I'm like, he was just so happy to teach me about hacking PSPs beyond what I knew at the time. That's why we met.
Yeah.
And I just felt for him. So immediately after meeting him, because I took my lunch break and I worked the swing shift. So I went back to the hospital and I went right to the cafeteria and I'm like, hey, there's a family in need. What can you give me? And they gave me a bunch of milk and bread and cheese and cold cuts. They gave me a whole big fucking box full of shit. And then I was like, and I could have totally got in trouble for this part, but I went into the back and we had toiletry for the patients.
Yeah.
And I took a fuck ton of everything from anything you can think of. I mean, his wife was pregnant, almost due.
Jeez.
They had no money. The landlord was trying to kick him out, and he had no job. He didn't know what to do. But yet he had all these people over in their place, and I was just like, it was a 2-bedroom apartment, and a bunch of people were squatting there.
What in the world?
Yeah, and back then he was just like, oh, okay.
Huh.
So, yeah, I got that, and then I lied and said I used to work with him at a computer repair shop, got him a job at the state hospital, got his wife a job at the state hospital. Dude, within months, he invites me over to show me his new TV, and I was really irritated. And I'm like, dude, this is a time to take care of you, not take care of you.
Yeah.
And I said, I don't want to be this guy fucking pissing all over your parade, but, dude, no.
Well, it's kind of that this time of year, and I get bored sometimes and I scroll Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah, why not?
And as I'm looking through there, I'm noticing so many things that are posted. Hey, I just bought this. It's only a couple months old. I need to sell it so I can buy Christmas for my kids. Well, why did you buy it a couple months ago? Because this is
impulse,
hundreds or thousands of dollars, and you what?
They just haven't got to that point yet, man. I mean, now when you get older, you start really... I mean, I even asked my friend, I said, I'm getting older. And I said, is that why I'm so soft? He goes, yes. And
Interesting.
He's same age as me. He's accomplished a whole fucking lot. And he is super humble.
Maybe it's because you smoke a lot of weed. Maybe that's what's changed you.
That definitely has. That changed me to be able to be more in the moment, more present, more thoughtful. And it's just been this great, and it's what's great, dude, is that I don't need it now to be that same person. But what was great is cannabis helped me bridge that gap where I didn't have to be this tough guy. I didn't have to be the know-it-all. I could just be stoned and hanging out. Literally, dude. When I came over here the first time, I've said it many times on here, but that night I will always remember because it was so funny because even your other buddy, was it Chad? Yeah, it was Chad.
Yeah, it was Chad.
I am so fucking high. I'm getting tunnel vision. We were playing that game and all I can see, Rocket League. And all I can see on this white sheet that's been laid on there with the projector. Yep. And it was awesome. It's still a really fucking cool place. So we're playing that and I barely even know that I'm moving my hands. I'm so high. By this point, all I had done is puff on a pen and I take 2 or 3 hits and I was great for hours.
Oh yeah.
Now 2 or 3 hits, I'm yeah.
Yeah, in a few minutes, you're puffing on another one. You're like, all right, well,
I'll just keep puffing
hot dog
until
water.
I feel.
Yep.
Right. It's going to be 7 hits. And I'm like, all right, there we go.
The worst part, the last couple weeks with all the back pain, I have gone through probably at least 6 grams in carts. I have gone through at least half an ounce of flour. I've gone through I made cannabis-infused sugar that had at least half an ounce of flour in that. I've just gone through so much.
Just trying to keep the pain at bay.
Yeah, in the last like
Fuck.
2 weeks. Like, it's insane. So but I'm really liking this one. I feel like we've smoked one solid bowl.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
I could definitely smoke more, but like, it's nice. I haven't felt overwhelmed. I haven't felt incredibly high in any way. I do like how clear-headed it is.
It's clear-headed, but also super relaxed.
Yeah.
But I feel it on the top of my eyeballs. Like if you took my eyeballs and you cut them in half, the top part of the eyeball, the ball.
Top part of his balls.
No, I'm sorry. I'm wearing a kilt. There's a reason for that, because it's Christmas, right?
Happy Christmas.
Yeah, happy Kwanzaa.
Merry Chrysler.
Merry Chrysler. And
whatever that one is.
But yeah, I'm the deputy director of Clan Campbell here in Utah. So I'm big into the Scottish culture and stuff like that. But
I just got disappointed because our clan stopped coming to the Scottish festival for the last
we got to get you
5 years maybe.
We got to get you
like so every year we went down, we'd go look for it, and they hadn't been there in years, so we just, I don't know, it's been a little bit different.
The cool thing is like I got to introduce you to the council over there, because we're really trying to change that up. We're trying to make it more about interaction instead of just a bunch of booths selling shit.
Yeah.
Because that's what it's turned into. And
100%.
So they're trying to get into it, and I'm creating a bunch of different type of stories and stories for kids so they can get in touch with their clan roots. And we're going to bring like sword fighting and shit like that. Like you get to learn it. Kids can learn it.
They have some of the like other little fun ones for the kids and stuff that they've done before.
But all now, dude, it's just consumerism. It just sucks. It's like you can't have any culture with that. Like, you know, it'd be a really good Mexican culture one. Just fucking food everywhere. Yeah. Like that's
that's what I don't like. Every festival, every 420 event, all of this shit is literally just consumerism. There's not a bunch of events and actual things going on. It's like, hey, come here. We might have a band performing or someone playing, and then there's booths. You can go buy shit.
Yeah. No.
What the fuck kind of event is that?
Dude, you know it'd be cool if we had that event, but we just had lots of little couches everywhere.
Yeah.
For people to sit,
hang out, chill, board games, like shit to do. It's like, that is way more entertaining.
Balance games.
Yeah.
Accuracy game. Like, dude, I could play some ring toss.
Yeah.
I could play some ring toss. I could do like we could do like a dunk tank. That'd be fucking hilarious. And it's hot as fuck anyways. So why don't we do it, right? That would be awesome.
There's so much more to do, and I'm like, oh my goodness.
We've been invited
that's what most
to
events
help out.
Are that I feel like.
Yeah, but it's boring because
they're boring. They're so boring.
You know what, dude? If you're going to have things over there, talk to some fucking local food companies that are up and coming, saying how much is it going to cost for you to be able to provide like one taco to everybody who comes there for free. Just one taco. We'll pay for it. Like, it makes more sense because I'm not trying to get people there to buy shit. I want them to be more open to the cannabis culture and know that it's not just a bunch of stoner dudes, because that's what it felt like. They had the fucking... the music and stuff. I'm like,
well, and it's like you can buy all your glass and stuff. So it's like an outdoor head shop of just, here's some stuff, here's some vendors, and
not this year, this next year. No, we're gonna have a say in this next year where we hang out.
What are your guys' 420 events like? Are you guys having anything cool coming up?
God, 420.
Have you been
gonna be here
impressed with the 420 events that you've gone to?
You guys probably have. Out there, I would say in the rec states, I think you guys have
Denver.
way more.
Denver was amazing, but it was the first time I had gone there, and that was because they did the dab bus and stuff. I don't think that's legal. I don't think they do that now.
Well, no, it was the amazing. Wild West back then.
Hey, and if you haven't yet, go check out the site. It should actually be live here.
Yeah, it'll be live. Oh, it's going to be awesome. We are so excited.
Oh, my gosh. They've been working so hard on it. We've got so much coming.
Cool.
And new iterations and developments within the site always continuously coming. So
yeah, we are very, very excited. We cannot wait to bring this to you.
Hey, happy holidays.
Yeah.
We love you guys.
Yeah, and if you're alone at these times, you should do a favor. You can DM us. You can hit us up on messages. You can email us. Whatever you want to do. Seriously, hit
Shoot
us
us
up.
a message.
We'd love to just chat with you. I'm just going to be sitting around fucking making ham. That's it. And I don't care. I'm happy to talk to you. So I'll be message you back and forth. If I'm on the phone the whole time, my wife will fucking kill me.
I know, right? Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, happy holidays and
Catch you next week.
yeah, go smoke some bud.